You're not fooling me, guy. Hello guys, King Happy here. So, today we're going to build my massive sorting and storage system. It's going to be a little bit insane if I don't break the world before it finishes. So before we go into that, I'm going to run through what I've done between the episodes because I have done a number of important things to note. First of all, I put a roof on top of this hostile mob spawner, and it's being very productive now. Very productive. I did kind of a guessing track. I left it on overnight, about 6 hours, and there's about a double chest of every mob drop extra when I woke back up. So I'm guessing around 9 stacks of each item an hour. Could be a bit out though, no, just a rough guess, but it looks pretty good just from visual when they're coming down. So that's done. My bone meal is sorted for the rest of my time. I'm not going to have any problem with that. So let's go down here first. I've been using up the bone meal as it's been coming through normally for quite a few days, and just using the wood and making the stuff for it and everything else. And sort of since that, I kind of backed up the bones a little bit. So these are spare bones. Now the whole thing has been quite productive. I did say I didn't want this for gunpowder, but this hasn't been emptied before though. So you're looking at about 5.5 double chests. So you're looking at, that's what kind of mob drops we've got of everything in total of each type, because they're normally about a 1:1:1 ratio between each mob drop in general. So I've used up, if you count these 2 chests as leftover and you say maybe 4.5 otherwise, I've used up maybe 3 double chests of bones just making wood. So I've used quite a lot and it's been worthwhile. These things I've been breaking them and just replacing them to get rid of the entities. I'll make some sort of lava destroyer for the extra things sometime, but for the moment it's okay. But oh, well, look at this. This is new. And oh look, this is new as well. So I did have my little redstone torch tower going up here to turn the portal on. And I did say at some point I'll make some sort of thing around it to make it a less weird thing to look at. And I've added this thing up here as well. So we're going to look at what's in there for a sec, but I like this, I really like the colours, and I did think to do maybe glowstone or redstone lamps, something around, like little rings or something, but I think this looks nice just being ominous and dark, and from down there it looks really spooky looking up at it. I quite like it, I just like it. So let's go look at that, and to prove the wood's been quite, well, the wood farm's been very good, and that's filled up again. Got some wood in here, got some wood in here, got some wood in there, and I've used the wood for a whole lot of other things as well to prepare for today's main event. So a couple of other things, I have changed this, and we'll look at what the thing is down there in a sec. This is now on a timer rather than an item going through a cobweb. I wasn't wanting to do a timer before that because I didn't really know what kind of space I'd have to put the timer in, but now I've got this thing down there. Then I've got space, so I've done that. So there's no reason to have an item sort of despawn and everything else. And this thing here is just going to be, actually that's for another reason, just for extra flint steel. So this has been changed. I can also show you something here. So put an arrow through that and then listen. There you are. So this has been gold farm proofed and sort of carelessness proofed. So if I'm at the gold farm and this portal is on, the items that are coming through first come through this portal instead of the portal down there that I want to have storage on. So they come through here and just end up on the floor and then despawn. So I've got hoppers underneath these ones here. I'll just show you underneath. Now they take them and send them through right down to the bottom. So they go through these droppers and they get sent through to a little sensor on this that just spits them through. Very simple. And down through this very big column. So you've got the little redstone torch tower there, and you've got the timer for the thing up there, and it's pretty obvious. Little glass cage there to get the items going through for a straight line, and I should just have hoppers right down the bottom somewhere to pick those items up and carry them to wherever they need to go. So into the sorting system or whatever. So that is kind of the quick look through what's happened in between. I can now cage this off quite nicely. And one more thing, I was keeping a little eye on looking at throwing items through the end portal into the overworld and seeing where they would actually arrive. And I was a little bit confused because I was looking through for quite a while, thinking, where are these items going? I was putting them through, then looking on the surface and things and everything else, looking for where they were. I knew they'd come out in spawn. I didn't know exactly where or what radius or what kind of, where they sort of land. And they end up actually at spawn, right in the center-ish, right up at the highest Y coordinate, which has a building block on. So my items, when I throw them through the end portal, end up there. So I could do a sort of hopper collection thing, like this thing again, up there, then fire them down onto this, and then send them through sort of throw them through the next thing again. I could do that. The only thing I want to do that for is sort of end farms, sort of non-enderman farms, or if I'm throwing through, my shot author, isn't it? Or if I'm throwing through loads of ender pearls. Now, I could do it for ender pearls, but I don't really need that many ender pearls, sort of throw loads through. But that's a minor point I thought I'd mention. I can now cover this thing up quite nicely and make it very compact and everything else. It looks good. So yeah, that kind of is that. So yeah, let's go down to the bottom and see what we're going to do today. Okay, so we'll work out where I want to have my storage placed down here. I've got some things already that I can put into this, and I might as well show you quickly what kind of thing it's going to look like. So this is what I came up with in my King Designs video a little while ago that I did, and on reflection I haven't really thought of anything I want to change from this design, so it may be very, very similar or the same as this in the final version. I did say at the start of the video though, if I don't break the world first, there is going to be a huge amount of hoppers in the system, which should cause a lot of lag, and I don't know if it'd be too much for the single player world to handle. I really hope it isn't, and I hope it works fine. I want to make it silent, and this is silent. There's no wall streams, there's no pistons, there's no minecarts or anything else. None of that awful stuff that I dislike. So this, if it works in my world for all the stackable items that I want in the game, 260 odd different chests in the end to hold different items, if I can manage that in the world without killing it, then it'll be perfect for me. And that's what I'm kind of aiming for today, and we're seeing what kind of the Minecraft can handle these days. So I can build this several different locations. I said quite a few times a long time ago, I could have each branch having a different load of chests. I could have them split up, a bit each way or something. I could have them all on one side. Now, thinking about reducing lag, I don't really want to have them loads of different places, because then I need to have hoppers going all the way around the system to join each sort of branch up. I don't really want to be doing that. And also, I've mapped out the slime chunks in these spawn chunks that have, this is a slime chunk basically, and a slime chunk over here, and slime chunk over there somewhere at the end, slime chunk there, slime chunk behind that chunk there. So there are slime chunks around here that I need to kind of avoid, because we are down at y equals 21. We've got another load of layers which slimes can spawn in, and if I'm doing things with hoppers and everything else, I don't really want them to get kind of bunged up with slimes, so that will kind of wreck it. So to avoid that, I want to build it somewhere that isn't got slime chunks in. Now, this thing here, this branch, shouldn't have any slime chunks in it at all, not until you go much further back, which shouldn't be needed. I need to do about 35 blocks long, I think, on each side. If I have the pistons, the chests on each thing, it's about 35 long to hold all 260 items that I want to do, plus a few extra bits. So that's what I'm kind of aiming at today. So it's going to be built here, and it's going to be quite tall. That's why I couldn't have it over there. That's why I couldn't have it over here. And I don't want to split it up between being over here and being over here. So it's all going to go here today, and I'll start building in the skeleton. So I'll do one sort of strip around arc of it, and kind of get a sort of a guess of how big it's going to sit, and I'll be back to show you. Okay, so here's what I've done so far, and I am a little bit worried about how light it's going to be in here, because I can have this non-half slab, I can have this full blocks, So I can have this down a little bit and have lamps underneath it, although when I'm up here I need to be enough height so that I can access these chests here. They're right at the top. Things I'm not going to access very often go up there, and the moment sounds off because of the cows, they were annoying me. So yes, I've done this all the way along, just for the first couple of bits, and only the front sides of it, so just the chests and the hoppers going to the back of them. So there's going to be a lot of storage in this, and they're going to go all the way up. Now we're still in the ravine, so that's how big it's going to go, most likely. Now I will probably put some lighting in the roof, and the sorters are then going to go all the way around it and everywhere else. Now I've raised this floor up so that I don't actually get the void fog effect looking around, whereas if I'm down here then you do, I guess. So I didn't really want that on this, so we're up a few levels. Now I could have hopper systems underneath all of this so that when I throw things on the floor they go back into the storage system. I don't know if the world can handle that, so we're going to do this storage bit first, and then we're going to try and do any other things if the client can handle that. I don't know if it will be able to. So I'm just going to go and start setting all of this up all the way to the top, and then we'll start putting the sorting system on the back of that, and we'll just see how the FPS changes as we go. So on with some work. Okay, so a number of hours later, and this is the progress I've done so far. And you can see these pickaxes were all full, and I've repaired a couple of them as well in the meantime, and they're back down to that. So a lot of digging. You can see the roof is much bigger, and the space behind the whole thing. No, there's a lot of digging going on here. So far I've put in the bottom sorters for both sides, and also all the hoppers and chests to go to the actual storage part of it. Now, FPS check, at the moment we're locked on 30 because of VSync, but I'm sitting at about 50-60 normally looking at this, and with everything else running at the moment on PC, which is okay, but we've still got a lot of stuff to put in, so it may get unbearable at some point. I don't know, we have to check. So this has got all of the additional storage chests and everything else in it that I can get rid of. So such as this bit here, it goes down to double chest here, single chest here, when it could just go straight down, straight to the chest. So there's extra hoppers and things in here just for the sake of it, because I can, and I can remove a lot of them just really quickly if FPS is a problem. So bottom sorters are in. I haven't put in any of the item pipes yet that go around. I need to work out which direction and things the item's going to go, so I might want to have it snaking down this side and then go to an item elevator and go up the next side, or it could go around a big snake and go from that side to this side and down and down and down and into the bottom. I'm not sure I'm going to do it yet, although the overflow pipes, like this one here, so the ones where the chests are full, it will just come out this pipe instead. They all come to the back. So the back here probably I want some sort of mass crafting area, or just some sort of overflow area, so like some items that I really want, so maybe iron and stuff that I don't want to get rid of, can go into a mass storage bit here, just so that I can do some mass crafting with some dispensers and things, just to automatically just craft it quickly. And other stuff as well might come through as well. Some of it that I don't want to keep, so say like zombie flesh or something's coming through from one of these chests and going through, I have some sort of lava thing or cactus thing just to get rid of those items automatically. Should be good. Yeah, all of these are in. I've done most of the item frames already. My little cow pit over there is quite productive. Yeah, it looks good, and I put as much glowstone as I can between the layers, as you can see, like so, just to make sure mobs don't spawn on the sorting system, because that would be a pain. So yeah, it looks pretty good so far. I'm going to work out how to get items into here, which directions they should go. Then I need to add in all the item sorters for these next 3 levels. No, that one's the first one. There's 3 more levels of item sorters, so I think it's 1 on there or something, 1 up there, and then 1 over the middle bit. Lighting doesn't seem to be that much of an issue though, although it could be that because I got that uncovered. Now that is just storage, that's not actually an accessible one, so the roof would be at the level of the stair blocks. So I'm able to think of lighting a bit more as I progress and conceal it in a bit. But yeah, that's looking good so far, and yeah, pickaxes are having a hard time. So, I'm going to do some more progress. I'm going to put in the sorting systems for each layer, and then we'll look at the actual item streams going through, sort of the hopper chains, and see where we actually want to do it. Because then we've got to work out how we actually get items into the system and how we get items out, sort of overflow. So yeah, I'll be back with some more progress. Okay, so a lot more progress is done, and I do have a question for any of you technical players which know the answer to this. It's probably very simple, but kind of since 1.5 and beyond, we're getting weird entity counts. So up here, it says I've got 470 entities around here. Now they're not mobs, they're not redstone stuff like this, they're not all the hoppers and things. So on test while I was playing around with what was actually making these entities pop up, and none of this sort of stuff on its own or attached together seems to actually give any entities at all. But in this world it just seems to create tons of them. I don't know why. So I'm very confused about that actually. So anyway, the top sorter is done, next sorter is done. Actually the top two sorters are done, I'll show you that there. Okay, so this is the very top one, and then this one here is the second top one, and then we go down to the third. Oh, I've got glowstone a lot of places. Third, and then we go down to number 4. So that all works, and I've got tons of stuff to clear up. I've got all sorts of weird bits of rubbish laying around in my hoppers. All in my chest, so I'm going to go through every single chest pretty much and pull out all the junk from them. Oh, well, I'm not really bothered about that. But really, it's done. See, this roof is actually the bottom of the sorters. It's not actually a proper roof yet. I need to know what I want to do there. I might have lights in it or something like that. But for the light level, it's not that bad for light actually. I just wonder what it's going to be like if I do that. Wait for that to disappear because that does give out light. Ah, so that seems a good amount of light. I was worried that it was going to be really dark in here actually. And the reason why I didn't do these bits here as the stair blocks of the sandstone is that when they're the other way around they look a bit weird. Because I'm over here somewhere, they just the side bits look a bit weird. I don't like it. If they were the smooth ones then it'd be nice. See, that's that, and it seems to be light enough. I'm happy with that. That's good. So the next thing is, all I actually need to do to get this to work is two things. Put in those item streams going all the way down from somewhere and across, because all the rest of it is in place. Actually, I've got no torches there, have I? Okay, I need to check a few things before I finish that off then anyway. So yeah, but to really get this to work and me to start being able to use it, I have to go through and fill up these sorters. Oop. Which is the big amount of work, which I won't be doing today I don't think, because it's an enormous amount of effort. Because I've got to go through each one of these and enchant a stack of ender pearls. A stack of ender pearls for a stack of 16 will do 4 hoppers a stack. Now to enchant a stack of something costs something like 39 levels. So that's 4 items that I can do with that. Mine's about 35 long. I think there's about 280 different slots in this. So that's about 70 different stacks of these. So that's same as enchanting 70 books in a row. So that's going to be a lot of work, and I have to do all of them, or at least block off the actual sorters so that when I put things through, now if I don't want to allocate things to something, then I can just put a spacer in it such that they don't go through, nothing go through into that chest. So if I want to have maybe these ones here without anything in them allocated, I can just put 5 unnamed or 5 named ender pearls in there just as placeholders, and nothing else will go through that one. Then I have to do that for every single one to get to work. So yeah, it's a lot of work to do that, but at the moment for the FPS, I'm still sitting on 30 for recording on this, but with that recording it's still sitting about the same 55, 60 FPS, 70 FPS at the top. See, I'm just worried about this entity counts, because I had this before, because when I'm up at the actual farm up there, I've got a really weird entity count as well, and I can't really track down where the entities are coming from. I thought it may have been from the torches, and getting rid of some of them and replacing with glowstone seemed to help a bit, but I'm really not actually sure where they're coming from. And these cows and things aren't that, there are only 40 or so of them. So yeah, any answers to that, I'd love to hear them, because that seems to be where any of the juttering is coming from. There's a little bit of juttering on the world for me, but I've had that for a little while anyway, because of the amount of stuff I'm doing around here. So yeah, I'm going to start working out how I want to deliver things into the system. I probably want to start off with just some chests somewhere, just as an input thing, and then hook it up to the gold farm maybe, and the witch farm. So yeah, I'm going to start looking at that now, and I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so I've been playing this for quite a few more hours, and I came up with the conclusion that the item frames were causing most of the lag themselves. There was meant to be a fix released in the 1.6 for the item frames, but it doesn't seem to have helped with any sort of FPS issues. At the moment I'm recording on 30 again, and it's about 70 odd when the item frames aren't here. My entity count is something which is much more reasonable. Still got some item frames over there, so yeah, that's adding up for the rest. So, I have hooked up the whole system to move the items around with the hoppers from layer to layer. Now, I really didn't want to go near water and things for this whole thing. Well, at least not for this actual sorting part here, because they're loud and I don't like it. And when you come to clients, if you're throwing loads of entities through water and you're getting sort of the particle effects of the water and the entities and everything else, they don't really help the client at all, and they just make it even worse. So it makes a little bit less work on a server. But I'm not a server, so I'm not interested in doing water for everything. So I'll just show you what I've got up here, I guess. And we'll start from the beginning. It's not really the best place to start. So down here, let's see. So at the bottom of this middle 2 rows, I've got a hopper system underneath to go around here to a drop elevator, which goes all the way to the top, and then it snakes down this left hand side, comes back, and then goes to another drop elevator, which then goes up again to a water stream, which goes over the top of everything, so far out of your reach to here, all the way over the top, and then goes to, okay, it doesn't go to there, then it goes to that bit up there, and then goes down this bit like a snake, and then comes out at this one here. So there's some colour code in the end. Green are overflows for that row. So this is when all these chests get filled up with the item. The excess comes out of this one for that whole row. So some of these might want to go to be destroyed. Say if this bottom one is all mass storage of cobble and things like that. Then I can have the overflow just being destroyed straight away. And some of the overflows I want to keep separate. So maybe this one I want to keep valuable things in, and I'll store it somewhere extra. Just something that I can do with it. Or I can just join them all up and just have it all into a mass storage somewhere. I don't know. Still trying to think of how I'm going to join up other farms. Not really that sure. I have to think about it a bit more. And that's because if I throw some things through here, so let's throw some cobble through here, get the FPS out, we will start to lag quite horrifically when the things all go up drop elevators. You see we dropped below 30 FPS there, and that means I'm actually doing like 29 FPS rather than my 50-60. So yeah, there is some problems with just having loads of drop elevators going up a long distance. It's one of those things that happens anyway, wherever these things are by now. They've already gone through. Means that's already gone through. Okay, and then showing that will actually work, because haven't any of the sorters yet. They're going to come out just as they would normally. And yeah, they're coming out. So because of this whole drop elevator issue with things going, lagging and everything else, I might want it so that because they're in spawn chunks, it's a little bit individual here. I can have it so that I have a drop elevator running all the time if I'm not here, or I could have it so that when I'm near I could turn it off manually and have a different way of doing it. So I was looking at other ways that I could actually use a way of getting the items up to the top, because once they're up the top they're fine, reasonably. I don't know, I haven't had to test going through all the hoppers yet, having them all got items and everything else. That might lag a different way, but the main problem at the moment is just getting items up there without lagging it out. So another way I could do it is have something like this on a clock. So what I've got here is just something that will just open that up, I just chuck things in. This is a really simple item elevator, and just got that, and up the items go. Now go and meet up to the water stream at the top and then come through the same chests. So this bit here is just going for everything. So things come through in there in a second just to confirm that that is going through correctly. So I'm having this for like a manual dumping thing. So if I just use up a whole load of stuff here, I can come here and just dump it all in here from my inventory, set off the pressure plate, and it will all go up and be sorted back again. That could be a good way of doing it. I could also do it for other things and have this on a clock, like I said. I have different on a clock, such that all the farms and things can feed into this, and the witch farm and everything else can feed into this, be thrown in through a water stream from the actual farms themselves, or fired in with dispensers into some water, and have every X many ticks, this just goes that, and then pulls back again, and those items go up. Could be a way of doing it. I don't really need to do a sensor for it that way. Okay, these items will be out here now. Here you are, cobblestone coming through. So yeah, that works in principle. I can do that. There is a possibility to save some FPS. I could also remove some of the hoppers through the whole thing and give less storage in the actual stuff, because most of these have maybe 2-3 double chests worth of storage in them, built through the system. I don't really want to lose all of that if I don't have to. But yeah, I am still in the thought process of all of this. Still in the thought process, so I haven't really got too much to show you today. So the other way of going up, at the moment it's standard, goes up this side one. Can I see it from here? Nope. Okay, this is the alternative one. This one it returns on to go to the other side. I could do ice and speed paths and have it flat, but I've got so much light here, I just did this instead. It works the same. And the one below, if I can get to there, I've got glowstone everywhere. Oh, this one's the little one, just going through this item elevator and going up through here and going into this sorter. I'm sorry that it's all very hard to work out what's what from me jumping around like so. So yes, all it does, oh, no ender pearls, goes from there, goes along, comes to there, comes back, goes down again, along, and then along and again. So yeah, it's pretty standard what you're going to do with that, I guess. So yeah, that is what I've got done so far. I've got lots of thinking to do now to see if I can think of a way that I want to sort this properly. And of course, stress testing is going to be really done once I've done a whole load of enchanting to get some named items to use as placeholders in the system, which take a long time to do. So yeah, there's the progress for today. I'd love some suggestions and things. Like I said, I don't do water streams over the whole sorting bit itself. My overflows work exactly how I want them to, that's fine, I don't need to change that at all. So yeah, I'm going to play with this some more between the episodes and see if I can set up some of the sorters just so I can sort of stress test this. And thank you very much for joining me, guys, and I'll see you again next time.